Justin and Ashley, go for it.
All right, we co-own Level Up Strength and Nutrition. And we do have our 2-year-old in here right now. So if you hear weights clinking around,
for the noise,
he's doing squats.
I get it.
Yeah. So we, our avatar is couples with young kids. We help them get stronger and lose inches while not taking away any family time. What was the other part? Was that it?
Well, what are we talking about here? Why are you on the hot seat?
So what we've talked about with our success host Krista, and what we talked about in our enrollment call is an issue with focusing on what do we concentrate on in the here and now. Like I get so carried away with we've
had this talk
with all of the places that I want our business to go and all of the amazing things that I want, that I find myself spending hours working on things that like don't matter right now.
Yep.
And so I guess scaling is kind of what we want.
Like, how do we pick which idea is going to move the needle the most right now?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I could talk to you about this one for days. I don't know about your two's dynamic well enough, but Allison and my dynamic is very much, I have my head in the clouds and she grounds me. And so it's very useful to have somebody like that. If you don't do that for one another, energetically, it's very useful to have somebody like that. I mean, it could be, I know people who have a therapist that's like that. If for no other reason, then I just need to talk in circles about stuff all of the time and just like get it out of my system. And so I say that just because I have the same issues where, I mean, you want to talk about big dreams. It's sexy to think about all of the things that could be. This is one of the reasons why the self-help genre of books is the best-selling genre of books. It's because it really, if you think about it, self-help is similar to fitness in that you really only should need to read one self-help book, one fitness book, and then just go and do the stupid thing. But the idea of thinking about self-help and dreaming about what is going to become as a result of it feels much better than doing the hard work day after day of doing it. And so what happens is that we keep craving the dream, the dopamine hit of the dream of this big thing that's going to happen. And we keep going after that fix. And so I think the first step is to just kind of understand that that's happening. Like getting over that for me was a big one of just saying, okay, well, like I could get my dopamine elsewhere. I don't need to keep buying lottery tickets or whatever. The other big thing that I've learned, this is going to sound so simplistic. You could solve a lot of problems with money. You can't solve very many problems without money when it comes to business. And so the first step often is just to do whatever you need to do, even if it's like the least scalable thing, to be able to make the most amount of profit, because then when you have that money, you can then go out and hire stuff away or like figure out how to solve those problems. So tell me, because I know you have a lot of good things going on. I know you had a post, sort of your vulnerability post, that got a lot of attention. Like, talk me through what's kind of going on in your heads right now. Like, what are you working on right now? What are these things that you kind of ultimately where you want to go?
So I keep getting involved in projects. So yes, I'm the one up in the clouds and he's the one kind of like, hey, that might not be the best place to put your energy right now. Like,
right. So some of that dynamic exists, but
yes. With a virtual GYN/women's wellness physician, a women's success coach, and myself, who have put together a virtual program called Bloom, where basically like women can come see they get appointments with the doctor, a success coach, and a fitness/nutrition coach all in one package. We're all in on this together.
Cool.
It takes up a lot of my time too. So it's just, I keep getting involved in projects like that where people want what Level Up has to offer within their project, and they're amazing.
Wait,
then
Bloom is not your program. Bloom is somebody else's program that you're involved in.
Is a like trifecta business. So yes, like Level Up's name is on it.
Okay. Okay.
But it's all these different problems. We're also working for a functional medicine doctor right now as his fitness and nutrition coaches, which is then just another branch into functional medicine.
So we have all of these rockets that are trying to take off.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, we're also trying to get Level Up to take off.
Right. We've been in this for a year now. We have 13 clients. So like this stuff is amazing, but I sit there at night going, is this really where I should be putting my energy, or should it just all be into Level Up at the moment?
What's your gut telling you?
I want to help as many people as I can, and I'm truly helping people with these other businesses as well.
Okay.
And it is kind of a feed into like, well, maybe if they go through the Bloom program and they really like how I coach, then it's kind of a funnel into Level Up as well.
Does it have to be you working in these other programs, or can it be somebody working under your brand or name?
It could absolutely be somebody else. We just don't have anybody else right now. But I
Do you
didn't
have
think
any past clients that you've worked with that might be a good fit to that are kind of people who have done really well with your program? I mean, the best people that you could ever hire are your past clients, because they know your entire system, and they've also been where people starting your program have been, so they can connect with them.
Yeah, no, that's true. I also have my coach that I've used and we've used for almost 10 years. He actually trained, under Jordan Syatt, who asked us today if we wanted to independently contract him.
Fun stuff going on.
Yeah. So then I was like, am I even at a point that I can like take somebody else on right now?
I don't understand. He wanted to coach for you.
Yes, because he
Yeah, I see.
doesn't like doing the business side. He just
I
wants
see.
to.
Yeah, there's a lot of people like that. Okay. So it seems to me like there's kind of two options of directions that you can go here. And I'll kind of lay both of them out, not telling you which one is better or worse, because I don't think that there's a better or worse, but there's two options. And it's kind of important for you to choose one of them at this point. One of them is to take a step back and figure out how to hire one or two people that you can place in these different programs that work under your brand. And that's kind of one of those like one step back to take two steps forward type thing. Maybe this is the right time to do it, maybe not. In order to do that, you would need to, in some way, shape, or form, operationalize, systematize, and build a curriculum around what you do. Now, it doesn't mean that people need to follow it like exactly to a T, but you can't expect a coach who works for you to be as good of a subject matter expert as you. And so you are in this position because by definition, you two are both exceptional. You can't expect somebody to be as exceptional, and you certainly can't, even if you find one person, you certainly won't be able to find 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 or 6. But you should be able to find past clients, or like this other coach that you were talking about, who are just like good people and good coaches that don't want to do the business side, and have a curriculum. Like, okay, well, the people who we work with work on these 4 things, similar to what we do with the 4 C's. And we know that our job, this is the way that we kind of articulate it. We talk about this in the podcast. This comes from Len, but we kind of know that like, it's this life Tetris analogy. Everybody's got these types of things, these Tetris pieces that they need to put into place. Some people need more of this, some people need more of that, but everybody needs these 4 things. Our job is to figure out what you need more of right now and help you focus on that one thing, do well with it, and then move on to the next. So when building out the curriculum, it's a matter of identifying what those life Tetris pieces are, give some guidelines for tackling them, and then your coach's job is to empathetically speak to the clients and figure out what it is, what's most important for them to work on right now. The second option is to say, you know what, there's lots of good opportunities. But if there's lots of good opportunities now, 1 year into a business, holy shit, imagine how many good opportunities there's going to be 3 years into a business. The fear that we all run into a lot of the time is when there's good opportunities, if we say no to them or we turn them down, then that's like the end. We've somehow like tapped it out. That's just simply not true. What you're doing is getting attention. If you continue doing it, you're going to get more attention. There's going to be better and better opportunities. And so the second option is to say, these are great opportunities. We love them, but they're not great for us right now. We're better served focusing on our thing right now, which is going to make us more cash. It's going to keep things more simple right now, today, knowing that in the future, there's going to be other opportunities. And as hard as it is to say no to these wonderful opportunities, we've decided that that's important to us. And it's important to make this kind of binary decision and figure out what's right for you at this time. And that might change later on, right? Just because you make that decision today doesn't mean that you have to stick to it, however long down the road. But I can tell you, like, this is not, you haven't like tapped out you know, the opportunity. So I want to leave you with those kind of options. I mean, real quick before we move on, like, how does that land? Does that give you just some kind of idea of like at least what to talk about, what to think about?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
I mean, it's hard.
Yeah, it is hard. And you're totally right that we have this fear of like, if I say no to this opportunity, nobody's ever going to ask me to do anything ever again. You know, it's like that panic, especially when you're first starting out and you're like, oh my gosh, somebody recognizes me. Like, this is my only chance.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And then just learning to say no to the things that don't fit our business at the moment too.
Yeah. And look, it's going to continue. I got news for you. Good news, bad news. I've said to people before in this mentorship, like, our job is not to solve all your problems. Our job is to give you a different kind of problem to solve.
Sure.
And that's just kind of the reality in business. My dad said that to me one time. You know, my dad was like middle manager type. He's just like, can't remember what I was talking about. It was something about how like, oh, you know, when I just like fix this, like things will be better. He's like, nah, that's not how it works. he's like, there's just going to be different shit. And it will be better and better and better. So cool. Well, thank you so much for sharing that. I know you both might need to pop off early, which is totally cool.